So welcome back to Law Call. Mike, before we get off the question of Kimberly's situation, stage 3, I mean, you know, stage 4 is, I mean, that's almost terminal, I should say, or what we commonly refer to as a terminal situation. But when you're looking at a stage 3 kidney failure, someone like that, I mean, how are they able to go through dialysis and still perform some type of job? Because it sounds to me like Kimberly would have to be on some type of dialysis if she's at stage 3. Does that change the playing field for her?
When you're on dialysis, it affects you vocationally. And most people on dialysis, I used to take my dad to dialysis 3 times a week, and there's no way he could hold a job. But the Social Security Administration recognizes that, and they have what they call their listings. The listings are things that are wrong with you, and if they're at a certain point and you have certain conditions, then you are disabled according to the rule. And if a person is on dialysis and it's more than once a week, then they're going to fit that rule, because there's in the rule for the listing, it's a step-by-step thing that the adjudicator is going to be able to make a decision based on that rule, and they're basically are going to be disabled. But a lot of times the caseworkers and the adjudicators at Disability Determination Service don't quite get it. I mean, for an example, I had a guy with diabetes who lost his feet due to the wound problems you have with diabetes. And by the time we got to the hearing, I'm in front of a judge, administrative law judge, and she got very angry at DDS because we were there. That this person who obviously hit a listing slipped through the system.
Well, Mike, you made a good point earlier in the show, though. I mean, you said you treat these cases like if you're dealing with an insurance company. You know, it's the government's money, it's the government's insurance is supposed to be paying you for benefits that you've already paid for over the years, correct? And yet you have a young man who loses both of his feet, and good for the administrative hearing judge to come down pretty hard on these managers for being this way. I mean, it's no different than what we see sometimes in the personal injury field, where insurance companies and adjusters are holding on to their money, and the damages are clear and obvious. The person has sustained a significant serious injury, and they just fail to acknowledge and pay the claim. So, you know, going back to earlier in the show, you made a comment. You treat this like an insurance company, and you treat it like the federal government has the money and they're not paying. Surely, I mean, it's in their best interest not to pay, and then all of a sudden you have to wait, I don't know, what's in this situation, 8, 12 months for a poor young man to get the benefits that are owed to him?
And that's correct, and that's the reality that we deal with. And there are occasions where I have an administrative law judge who makes a denial that I think they should have approved, and I end up appealing that with the federal court in Tallahassee. I go to the district court and follow basically a federal lawsuit. And like right now, I have 2 that are active doing that. And I've always got a few of those going on. The system is pretty harsh. I mean, I just have come to that conclusion. I'm sure it's just like with insurance companies, that when you're dealing with, you know, X, Y, or Z insurance company, and I was told way back in the beginning of my legal career, when I was doing some insurance work, that the adjuster told me, we don't pay until there's an attorney. And I was like, well, that's just wrong. So.
Well, that's a great plug, because we've actually seen that over and over, Tim, and studies have shown that when you hire an attorney, you're more likely to get 3 times more than what you would have gotten had you tried to do it yourself. So, you know, it has to be, you know, daunting for someone to take on the federal government, much less an insurance company.